I'd like to call the meeting of September 3rd, 2015 to order. Then have the roll call, please.
Sure. Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Here.
Council members Achara.
Here.
Long.
Here.
Shepherd.
Here.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Here. Everybody please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance, and then please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer thereafter. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming. So the notice requirement of the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in the Town Hall and the Office of the Municipal Clerk on December 30, 2014. There are two emergency fire exits. One to my right will take you out to the front of the building, and one to my left will take you out to the rear parking lot. Everyone, please, if you have your cell phone, just if you can kindly turn it off during the meeting. And if you need to make a call, just kindly go on outside and make that call. And we're going to check ours first because we're the biggest culprits. Of course. Okay. Great. And before we get started with our regular meeting, I'm just going to go down and get some council reports if we have any. Deputy Mayor Garofalo, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, just very quickly, I met with one of the members of the police department, and I know they're sending out pixels. We've had a few burglaries again out in, actually the Wayside area, in the Wanamass area, and the police are just asking everybody, again, be vigilant, and if you see anything, please call them. It's not a nuisance, that's their job, they want you to call, so if you see anything out of the ordinary in your neighborhood, just, please call them, and they hopefully will be as successful with this group as they were with the last group. And happy birthday, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, thank you. That social media can't hide anymore. Nobody knows how old you are. Thank you very much. Donna, do you have anything?
Yes, I do. I wanted to let everybody know that on September 13th, there's a fundraiser for John Green, who passed away from cancer. He was a police officer in Ocean Township for 17 years, and he was on the Ocean Township Police Department. He was also on the fire department. He was telecommunication instructor, EMT, firefighter, police explorer advisor, and he has done a lot of work in Ocean Township, and was on the police department for 17 years. He has a wife and I believe he adopted the children, and they need a lot of funds and a lot of money. And they're having a big fundraiser for him on the 13th of September at, I went to Sicily and away, I know that. Fireman's Field, Wanamass Fireman's Field. And it's from 11 to 7, it's $25, they're having a gift auction. So anybody, please, if you know of anybody that's interested in going, they could use the money, and it would be very well appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. And
again, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, Donna. And a lot of wonderful bands are donating their time there. It's going to be great entertainment as well. Rich, you have anything for us?
Yes, Mayor, I do. I want to commend the entire Ocean Township community for such a generous and spirited response after the Twin Brook fire in August. I'm sure that was a topic of discussion while I was away in August. Nevertheless, I want to commend the entire community once again. As a member of the Community Hope Fund, I am proud to report that over $4,120 in gift cards and over $7,000 in cash to be converted to gift cards were donated. In addition, I want to single out the owner of Fluff and Fold Laundromat on Route 35. His name is Mr. Charles Measley. He collected an incredible amount of clothing for the fire victims who lost their clothing. He did a really great job, and I want to publicly commend him. Mr. Charles Measley, Fluff and Fold, did a great job.
They actually shut him down one day. He had so much in donations, he couldn't do business for about 4 hours. Had to clear all out, which is a good thing, in a way. Good for the victims, not so good for Mr. Measley, but we thank him for that. Like Rich said, that was wonderful. Is that good?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, Rob?
I'm going to start with happy birthday.
Thank you.
Well, I wish you a happy birthday too, man.
Just want to remind everybody, if you don't already know, school started today. Obey the traffic laws. Buses are out there. Ocean Township has about 3,800 students, and we actually transport over 4,000 students because of differing schools that they have to go to. There's 60 buses that are going to be on the roads most of the time. And just again, please obey the traffic laws. Remember, you need to stop for a bus in both directions. If that sign's out there, we got a lot of videos. There are videos on the camera. There are videos on the buses now. So if you are passing them, well, first of all, you shouldn't be. And if you do, you may be caught candidly. So for the safety of the students and the safety of yourself, please obey the laws.
Great, thank you very much. Andrew, anything?
Just quickly, we are finishing up the concrete work over on Allaire Avenue, and then they'll be heading over to Corley's Avenue next between Monmouth Road and the bridge to do new curb, sidewalk, and driveway aprons there. Once the work's done on Corley's, they'll come back and they'll pave both Allaire and Corley's, and that'll finish out our program for this year.
Great, thank you. Marty, anything you're gonna say? Do you have anything for us right now?
You know, I was just gonna say, as someone who gets appointed every year, happy birthday, Mr. And also say that it is an important birthday. However, August 31st was the birth of my first grandchild.
Wow.
Down in
Great,
Brazil.
Mazel tov. I didn't know that, you didn't tell me.
Good.
You know what?
I knew you had 2 grandchildren pending, but,
Depending, the first one was 5 weeks early.
oh, well, congratulations.
Here nonetheless.
You actually
Jay,
I'm
welcome.
embarrassed, I'm sorry. Mazel tov. That
Thank
was
you very much.
unbelievable. That's awesome.
What's her
Congrats.
name? Her name is
Madison Jade.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Well, tonight, before we go to our regular agenda, we have 2 proclamations that we're going to hand out tonight. So September, come on in. My friends from Hatfield. September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month and also sickle cell as well. So I'm going to come down with a proclamation. We're all going to come down and we're going to present it to somebody for us on behalf, and then we have another group as well. So everybody just sit tight. Come on down. That's 1, 2. Always can make sure with Vinnie that we have our batteries here. So the first proclamation we have is our Childhood Cancer Awareness Month of September 2015, and we've done this last year as well. And so it goes on, and the proclamation reads, but pretty much 2/3 of childhood cancer patients will develop long-lasting chronic conditions as a result of the treatment that prevent them from fully participating in school and social activities. So whereas childhood cancer rates have risen in the past few decades, and approximately 15,780 children were diagnosed in 2014 alone, and the incidence of invasive pediatric cancer is up 29% in the past 20 years, which is a lot. So whereas cancer kills more children than AIDS, asthma, cystic fibrosis, diabetes, and muscular dystrophy combined, whereas the last 25 years, only 2 drugs have specifically developed for children's cancer. In the last 20 years, FDA initially approved only 1 of the drugs for the childhood cancer. And whereas only 5% of the federal government total funding of the cancer research is dedicated to childhood cancer, and only about 3% of the funds raised for National Cancer Institute go directly to pediatric cancer research. So funding pediatric cancer research has gone down steadily since 2003, and despite the facts, childhood cancer research is vastly and consistently underfunded. So despite the major advances in treatment, it is still critically important to conduct research and increase awareness regarding pediatric cancer. That's why we're here. So I, Christopher Siciliano, Ocean Township, do hereby proclaim September 2015 Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in order to help raise awareness of pediatric cancer and to its victims. So that being said, I'm going to bring up Ms. Kelly Terry, and she is also the administrator of the Maya Terry Fund, and I'm going to have her be the holder of this proclamation for us. And then if you have anything you want to add, Kel, please do, because you're an expert in the matter for us here.
Unfortunately, I am an expert. For those of you who don't know, my daughter Maya, she was diagnosed with pediatric cancer at 5.5 years old. She battled for 5 years in 3 different premier hospitals in this country and passed away in April of 2013 at St. Jude's. So her only hope was research, and unfortunately it cured her of cancer, but the treatment killed her. So we started a foundation, and since its inception in 2013, we've helped 26 families in our community who are battling pediatric cancer. We have lost 3 of those children, unfortunately, since we started. So I'm very grateful. We do need to create awareness. We do. Most of the money for pediatric cancer research does come from grassroots efforts just like this, because as you pointed out, our nation does not put a priority on it. We get less funds than breast cancer, and we have 12 different types of cancers and hundreds of subtypes that affect children. So I thank you for honoring our children, not letting Maya be forgotten, and for allowing me to be here today.
Great, thank you. And thank you for everything that you do. And, you know, again, like Kelly said, you know, the awareness is everything. So we continue that trend, that'll be awesome. But if you want to all come in for a quick photo here, you get the middle here.
Yeah, thanks.
Squeeze in a little bit. There you go. Okay.
Same drill every time. Sorry. I wasn't looking, Jack.
You weren't looking? I'm doing
But I'm
good.
late.
I'm doing good. Let's see who smiled and who didn't. You did very well. Once more, just in case.
Look at smart.
Thank you.
Great, thank you again. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for what you're doing with the Maya Terry Foundation. That's awesome.
Oh, we have a run October 4th.
Yes, don't forget. I'm going to be out there dragging my feet for the 3 miles or the 5K is, right?
Do the color.
I always commit to these things. I'm the last one running, but but no, it's great. The 26 families that you helped. I'm sure on behalf of them, thank you very much for that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, secondly, I'm going to say something else here, that we have another recipient here. And each town, we're only as good as our volunteers that we have in each town. I'm going to tell you, Ocean's very blessed. We have a lot of volunteer organizations that really are the underpinning of the town. We couldn't function without them. And everybody knows that. Everybody here knows one way or the other, whether it's our first aid, our fire departments. And if you listen to the calls they make every year, we go to their dinners and we're blessed to hear what they do. And it's confounded, really. They're overwhelmed. And, you know, think about a fire department, for example. It doesn't make sense what they do, you know, running into a burning building to save a life. But then again, you know, ultimately, it's what they're doing is saving lives and saving people's things, etc. We have the same situation with our EMTs as well. But they're overwhelmed and sometimes overworked, and you can't always get to them. So recently we had a situation about a week and a half ago where I got a call from Poplar Village from Pam Sorley over there. And she was very, you know, distraught. She didn't know what to do. There was an elderly resident there, Poplar Village is for our seniors. And they're all, most of them on fixed incomes over there. And this one particular woman had a situation where she needed help. She needed medical attention immediately. And she was afraid to call our first aid because during the day they're on paid service because they just can't get enough help, unfortunately. So what they do is fantastic, by the way. If they're on paid, God bless them, they should be. So what to do? What are we going to do with this poor woman? So I said, let me make a call to my friends, my local buddies over here. So I called Steve Sitt from Hetzela. And they're over here in the audience. And I said, Steve, can you help me? You know, here's the situation. Absolutely, Mayor. Don't even think twice about it. And he sent his crew over there, and they went over there. I guess Ron, I don't know if you were on the crew yourself, Ronnie Shama, but whomever the crew was fantastic. They administered to the woman the attention that she needed, the medical attention, and they helped her. So I'd like to call up Ron and Steve, come on up here and accept this proclamation on behalf of the town. Everybody else, come on up, fellas, bring the whole crew. Now I'm going to let Steve actually and Ronnie say a few words about the program. Bobby, so tell us, how long have you been involved, by the way, with Hetzler?
Actually, one of the founders. I've been a EMT and a volunteer since 1988. I actually came to town and joined Elborn First Aid Squad. I was a captain for 3 years. And, you know, seeing the little burden that all the townships are having with volunteers, we decided to start this organization that was already founded for many, many years prior in New York. To date, thank God, we have about 40 volunteers, and we service everybody in the community and out of the community. We have 5 ambulances, and unfortunately, we're very busy, but that's why we're all one family, and we're all here to help each other. So,
Well, that was great.
hopefully, you won't need us, but we're here if you do.
So, thank you again for everything. And that was great what you did, because like I said, you're here to service not just your community, but the whole entire community.
Correct.
And I don't think folks realize that. And you're a volunteer
Yes.
service as well, which is wonderful too. And you guys find guys that volunteer and staff it, and it's just great that you always have somebody there. I'm sure you're much busier in the summer than in the regular times, but it's great. But we want to thank you for that, because I called upon you, I called Stevie, and boom, just like that. It was no question, you know. He said, absolutely, we'll be able to take care of that. Would you mind introducing everybody for us?
Sure.
Thanks, Don.
This is Stephen Sid, our director. He runs our office. This is Ronnie Shama. He's my partner. He's a fellow coordinator and captain. It's Ezra Dan. He's our carnival committee. He runs the carnival.
Good job.
He's also a fellow member. And we have Yona Shmueli, who's also one of our volunteers from our inception. And we have David Belhassan, who's also one of our volunteers from inception. And then we have David Haber, who's also one of our volunteers as well from inception. And then over there we have Stephen Hain, who's also one of our volunteers. Also an all-year-round member of Elbron First Aid Squad as well. And then we have Bobby Towell, who's also one of our members, as well as a member of local squad as well.
Thank you so much for that, Bobby, guys. Everybody come on in for a picture, because I know we're trying to get a shot. And real quick, where are you located right now? I'm sure folks know. Where's your actual office, or where do you take calls out of?
Our office is actually in Ocean Township. It's 167 Monmouth Road. We service 6 different townships, and our ambulances are actually spread out in different townships as well, so we're centrally located in case emergencies come in.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. That's great. Thank you. Okay. So at this time, we're going to take a short recess, and folks, you're welcome to stay and listen to our regular business, or if you have calls to attend to, you're welcome to head back to headquarters and do that. Hey, Steve, or if you want, the folks didn't really catch everything that you said. You want to just give a little more talk about what you do again, and I know.
Yeah, he did. I had him introduce himself, but he can just give you the great favor.
Well, we're an EMS service. We started about 13 years ago. We handle Long Branch, Deal, Ocean Township, Elberon, I mean, just 5-6 towns around, and sometimes even down the State Parkway if we call there. We have, in the winter time, we have about 40 members. In the summertime, we have about 60 members. We have 5 ambulances, and like he said, we are quite busy.
So what is your name and how do I find you? In case I need you.
Hatzalah EMS, HATZALAH EMS, and we have an emergency phone number, 531-9988, and we have dispatches 24 hours a day.
You started in Borough Park, did you?
Hatzalah did start in Brooklyn Borough Park. It now has divisions all over the United States and the country. You'll go to many, many countries. If there's a Jewish community there, there's a Hatzalah there.
But you serve everybody.
And we serve everybody. We don't say no to anybody.
Which is evident, which is why they're here, which we thank you again. Good, thank you. Everybody okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. But, you know, even with.
Oh, worst comes to worst, I guess it does.
Okay, yeah, back in session. Just that also, folks, I mentioned it's also, 2015 is also Sickle Cell Disease Awareness Month. So we're making that our proclamation as well. So just so folks know, nearly 1 out of every 500 African birth, they are contracted with sickle cell. So it's something that also needs a lot of attention, and it's something that we want to just keep that awareness out there for folks. Thank you. So that proclamation will be here at Town Hall, if anybody needs to take a look at it. Okay, so I'm going to open up the public meeting. You ready? Okay, the purpose of this public portion is to solely ask questions to understand resolutions and vouchers that appear on the agenda and is not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on this agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. So I'm going to open up. If anybody has anything on our resolutions or consent agenda, please come on up to the mic, state your name and address for the record. Please, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Don't cut.
He can touch it, he can touch
If
it.
you want to lower the boom there, Mr.
Well,
Lower it a little bit so it picks up your voice.
Thank you, Don.
okay. Regarding a couple of items on the agenda, Resolution 15171, Ocean Affordable Housing. I was going to ask from the agenda for a couple of days ago who they were, but there seems to be further information in the pack indicating that they're Cindy Road operation of some sort.
They're actually out of Eatontown, this group. Andrew has the full rundown.
Well, it's, the Affordable Housing Alliance is based out of Eatontown,
Yeah,
and it's a partnership between the Affordable Housing Alliance and the Alpert Group, which is a affordable housing developer,
okay,
for a
so,
project on Cindy Lane.
so they're proposing,
At this point, they're just,
affordable housing on Cindy
well,
Lane?
at this point, they're proposing to submit an application to the state of New Jersey for funding for a project on Cindy Lane, yes.
Okay, and they have the property?
It's our
Township owns the property.
The township owns the property.
These are our 8 lots that we had, Mr. Hudson. I don't know if you recall, years ago, we had 8 lots back there. We had put them out for sale at one point, but received a bidder and then lost them, and then we've been sitting on the land quite a while. So it's 4 acres in the back of Cindy Lane, the old auto records property way in the back.
Okay, and how does this fit in the township's affordable housing?
It meets the one need that we don't have, and quite frankly, this can's been kicked down the road for many, many years, so it's come to us. And, you know, it would be 48, 100% affordable units,
Oh, 100%?
100%, so we get credit for that. And the screening and everything they do, you know, it's a good project.
Okay,
But it'll come before the planning board, of course. And
okay, so this is just a conceptual,
this conceptual, they needed just to have us present a resolution so they can apply for funding
okay,
and to see if they even get the project.
okay. And do you have anything to say about the next resolution regarding funds for Dweck's bankruptcy?
Yeah,
I can
Marty
explain
was
that.
talking that, sure.
Yeah, when Dweck filed bankruptcy, you had various different projects that were going on in the town where we were holding funds. So several years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, we settled because there were issues as to whether work still needed to be done, not needed to be done, and we ended up in a resolution with the bankruptcy trustee to divide up those funds. And we then located additional funds on projects that he may or may not have had an interest on. On some of those, we said, no, we're not paying anything. Those are not Dweck's projects. But on a couple of them, there were still projects that he would have an interest in the funds that we're retaining, so we've agreed to divide that 50-50, where the bankruptcy court gets half and the township retains half.
Okay, so these are funds that you have
You were holding.
Funds that were being held in escrow, and the issue was whether or not they should all be returned to DWEC, or not DWEC, the bankruptcy court.
Yeah.
Or whether there were some issues of potentially remaining work that had to be done. So, and again, I think the total amount we're talking about is about 5,000, so half of that is going back to the bankruptcy estate, and half is going to the town.
So it's a small amount.
It is a small.
Okay, thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Anybody else want to be heard? Please come on up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. If not, we have tonight on the consent agenda, we have the minutes for the August 13th, 2015 workshop and public meeting. And we have resolutions 15-165 through 15-173. Someone please offer.
I will offer.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
I'm going to vote yes on all of them, but I'm going to abstain on 15-166, and as much as I wasn't here for that meeting.
Councilwoman Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. And now for individual action, we have resolutions 15-174. Approve the waiver of permit fee associated with the placement of a trash dumpster at Fox Floors located at 3213 Sunset Avenue. That's, we're having new carpeting put in upstairs. Fox Floors is the vendor putting it in. And instead of having a dumpster here on site and taking up parking lot, he's agreed to take the refuse from here, bring it to his building, and put it in his dumpster, but he didn't want to pay the permit fee, rightfully so, to have the dumpster at his place of business. No problem, doing us a favor, not having it here, so that's what this is for. So, someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. And tonight for adoption only, we have ordinance number 2246. Ben, will you read the title?
An ordinance amending Chapter 12 of the revised general ordinances prohibiting parking on a portion of Beechwood Avenue.
All right, someone please open the public hearing on ordinance 2246.
So move. Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Anybody wish to be heard on ordinance 2246, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing and hearing no one, someone please make a motion to action on ordinance close the public hearing on 2246.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, action please on ordinance 2246.
Move ordinance 2246.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and for introduction tonight, we have ordinance 2247. Can you read the title?
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 16 of the revised general ordinances entitled Parks and Playgrounds.
Someone please introduce ordinance 2247.
Introduce ordinance 2247.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and ordinance 2247 will have its public hearing on October 1st. Ordinance 2248 for introduction only. Someone please.
An ordinance authorizing the private sale of non-conforming real property known as Block 123, Lot 41 to a contiguous property owner.
Introduce ordinance 2248.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and that too will have its public hearing on 10/1 as well. Anybody from the audience have anything, please come on up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Anything?
Anything. Anything germane to your business. You can raise that arm, Susan.
That's okay. Susan Boria, 39 Redwood Drive. I used my own Ocean card last week or so, and I wanted to say kudos and that I was so very pleasantly surprised that I got an email telling me what my balance was. It was not big, but it was $3.65, and I never expected that to happen that quickly.
Wow.
So kudos, and I look forward to more merchants getting on board with it.
Yeah, they're coming on weekly. Great, thank you. Did anybody get a card or not get a card? We have them here for you at Town Hall. Incidentally, I make that announcement on TV. If you didn't receive a card in the mail, please come down to the front desk at Town Hall. We do have plenty of cards available. and most merchants have them there as well. But you're welcome to come here, pick up a card, register, and if you need help, we'll help you do that as well. Anybody else, please come on up to the mic.
Barbara Hudson, Wayside. A while back, I read an article that you said you were interested in having other things take place at Playa Park.
Yes.
And for long, we've been asking about a farmer's market. And
Yes.
Fenton remembered that Merritt Larkin said that was a great idea.
Yeah.
But nothing ever happened. So we're putting, that would be really nice to have.
That will have more discussion on the farmer's market. I think the only thought we had, different from a neighbor in town like Asbury who has that farmer's market, they don't really have the supermarkets or the stores that we have that vend the same product. And we're really conscious about that. I really don't want to take a bite out of anybody else's business. Events at the park, I was really considering more weekend and night events, let's really utilize it in a passive recreation type way, or even arts, that kind of thing. I want to get a new stage built, if you will, a little, and aim it.
A gazebo.
Yeah, and aim it the right way so the
Yes.
sound projects towards the woods and not towards the home. So that's on the tarmac for next year as well. And then we can introduce those other events. But something like the farmer market, I think would be very successful. I think the other vendors may have a problem with that as far as food
Do they
town.
sell so much fresh?
We have
Well,
a farmer's.
we have four vendors of produce in the town that are
Wegmans?
Food Town, Wegmans, Dean's, and then there's one in Orchard Plaza.
The farmer's market, and they have very good prices.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we wouldn't want to
I
put
mean,
extra
their stuff is
competition.
really good at at the market in Orchard Plaza.
Well, town-wide garage sale or something like that, I don't know. Things like that we can talk about, but I think vending something that someone else vends would be.
The other thing I want to talk about the Italian-American thing, that you said that we're 80,000 people.
Yeah.
This is not our thing, but the township loves it. We
Yes.
have friends that like it, families go. But you did say, that's 50,000 more than we have in our township.
Yes.
So I was wondering, because I've never read it anywhere, just who makes the money? And I know that the Italian-American Club has a scholarship. But, those vendors are, I would assume, from outside the township.
Most of them. I'm going to let the right side of the panel here take those questions.
Let me get my questions in first.
Most of the vendors are most of the vendors are out of town. I know for a fact that there are 5 or 6 vendors, food vendors that live in Ocean Township. Plus then the Italian American Association does the zeppelis and the sausage and the pastries. And that the sausage comes from local in-town business. The dough does not, no, all that stuff doesn't. But the money that is made from the Games of Chance and from the Grand 50/50, the Italian raffle stand, all that money, after expenses, goes to scholarships. And this year they gave out 30,000
Scholarships.
scholarships to Ocean Township residents and also Monmouth County residents.
Right, the vendors pay a fee to be there, but there's also nonprofit vendors and the, what's that, Myers?
Mylan.
Like Mylan,
Then
they also fundraise in there. There's many nonprofits and charitable groups that, but the individual
Boy
vendors
Scouts.
like Louis Linguini and all of that, they do pay a fee to be there, and whatever money
Do
they
they pay
make.
that to the Italian-American Club?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Whatever
So
money
I
they
just
make.
Well, and
think
the
that
Italian
township
American
ought to have
Association
some of
rents-
this revenue. You have a program where you're going to have the poor guy in the restaurant, Kim. We're hoping he's going to be there next week, and he's going to give us a credit. So it seems like this is a big, because you have 80,000 people.
That's 80,000 people over 5 days though, okay?
Well, whatever it is, as you
So-
said,
Well,
it's bigger than the fair.
the Explorer, the township, the police explorers,
They make
they
money.
make money. We pay all the policemen. I do believe we pay a fee to the
You
township.
do.
You do?
rental of
There
the
is a
park.
fee.
They do?
So, I mean,
They pay for all the electricity
they
as well.
pay for all the.
Remember, there's, all
Well,
the
are
Boy
there
Scouts
any
have
calls-
booths there, the
are there any
athletic
calls
teams
to
all have
Johnson?
booths there
Booths
as
there.
well.
Yeah.
So the question
It's a way
is,
for
are there
many-
any costs to
To,
the township?
no,
No, they pay for all the
They
garbage.
cover everything.
They pay for the garbage, the electricity, the police.
And here's the thing, we don't want to be on
But they are
a.
using our park, I mean, you gotta
Yeah,
say that.
They pay for
Maintenance.
And they pay
They
for.
pay for
They
using the
pay
park.
for using the park, yes.
They pay for using the park, and they also, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 98% sure, they pay for grass seed to be put down
Yes.
afterwards, and all the broken rails they pay for as a separate charge, you know, on the fencing, they pay for all that.
They repair their divots.
Okay, just have to, but still, could the township make some money on it?
Well, here's the thing, we don't want to be a part of it when they have that 5 bad days.
And,
When they have 5 bad days of weather, we
With
have to
rain.
reimburse them.
and
So
not
I think
only
this
that, though,
arrangement
but
works best.
it's called the Township of Ocean Italian American Association Festival. Okay, so the Township of Ocean is in there because when this first started back in 1976, it started out for the bicentennial celebration. And the mayor at the time had asked the Italian American Association if they would do a chicken dinner. And that's how it started, over by the copper shed, I believe it was, at the time. That's where it first started. And now, since then, every year it has grown a little bit more and more. There were old utility poles put up at one time for the electricity. Those were taken down. The Italian American Association and the Greeks, they put in underground wiring. So even the lights, the temporary lights, are paid for by the Italian American Association. So there is basically no expense at all to the
And
town.
the other thing I'll say to you, Mrs. Hudson, is it's a tremendous opportunity for many of our nonprofits in the town, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, athletic clubs, Lions Club, Kiwanis, to have an opportunity to raise funds for their individual organizations. In addition to the scholarships, the $36,000 we gave away this year, they also give away approximately $50,000 to $60,000 to youth groups throughout the community during the year. So that money does come back to the town in one respect or another.
But merchants are still making a lot of money.
The individual merchants do make
No, they should.
But they also attract
They make
people.
fun of getting.
Well,
they
first
pay.
of all,
They
we
pay.
definitely need, the Chinese barbecue guy has to make money. I hate to tell you, but that's my favorite thing. Yeah. But they really do a lot for the town.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson. Anybody else have anything? Please come on up to the mic, state your name and address for the record. No, if not, Mr. Hudson, one more time, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
This is the card. Oops. I'd just like to get a brief update on the situation regarding COA and the lawsuit matters, particularly since Mr. Arvis Smith supposedly with the various organizations last month.
He has an update for you.
Well, actually, I don't have, we are attempting to work out various matters with some of the developers and trying to get those items finalized. We're not there yet, but at a point where the position is presented to the council for, a final resolution, then we would present it to the public, because we're having discussions regarding resolution.
So you met with the judge?
Actually, that meeting did not take place.
Okay.
But,
You're
instead
making
we
progress,
have
but everything's still pending.
well, all the lawsuits are still pending.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of different things going on. We have a motion pending to extend immunity, which is returnable on September 4th. I believe we've received no opposition to the motion, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And the existing lawsuits that we have, we're talking with the developers, trying to reach some kind of resolution.
Okay, thanks very much.
Great. You're welcome. Anybody else? I just want to give a reminder, this weekend, the Historical Museum is celebrating the 50 years of the high school's anniversary. So go on by, if you have anything to input, you can go on by there and talk to them about it. And if you were old enough to be there, I know Tommy and I were there for a while, way back in the day. We can look at our old yearbook there. So it's very interesting, of course, and I think Rich was the first graduating class of Oakhurst School way back. That was good.
I'm just saying I graduated with LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, he was graduating.
It's nonsense, but
No, he was ahead of
have fun
me.
with it.
But his wife, his first wife, he didn't know very well. But yeah, if you get a chance, they put on these wonderful, wonderful events. And then they're also having a nice crooner 2 weeks from now, Johnny Patillo. And he'll entertain you on September 13th, and I think that's at 2 o'clock. And that's filling up quickly, so you might want to call them and also
The museum.
a few handful left.
The museum will have the presentation, the kickoff to the 50 years of Ocean Township High School. As the mayor said, this Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. But that exhibit, or those exhibits, will continue over a period of weeks at the museum. So Sunday is just a kickoff, but it marks the time when I went from Asbury Park High School to Ocean Township High School in my junior year, which began in 1965.
That makes you pretty old.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I want to thank you all for coming. Don't forget to watch us. We air twice daily at 10 and 7 p.m. We're on channel 77 if you have Optimum, and channel 22 for Files, except for Tuesday evening. Make a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion?
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garafalo,
Yes.
council members of chair,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming.